Welcome back everyone to the Friday Foursome in February, probably the last day of February, almost in February. This is the last day of February, isn't it? I think it is. Anyway, episode 2 for this year, episode 24, I want to say in total. Yes, so everyone really did like the return of the Foursome. I had some good responses. I had 10 VRs in response to this return of the Friday Foursome, which was great to see. It's nice to have a nice positive response to come back to. I mean, when we get back to the heights of 22 responses that we had years back when the Friday Foursome was in its heyday, that would be brilliant. But 10 responses were great, and I will list those 10 channels, and they'll all be linked in the description box below. And then, of course, like in the previous episode, all the links to the videos were linked on the pinned tweet in the top, and the same thing, the pinned comment at the top of the video, and the same thing I will do for all the responses for this very foursome. So, the people that entered this time were Yellow Belly, thank you very much, Major Belly. You've been gamed, Velociraptor, on making his video debut. So well done, Dave, Velociraptor there. Go and check that man out. Metropolis, lovely to see you come back to the foursome. Lots of people coming back to the foursome here. Retro Reclaimer, I think your first video response for the Friday Foursome, so welcome to the foursome. Acidonia 150 makes his return, as does Electric Adventures, as does Big G from SA, as does Gullpain, and as does Crow, or now he calls his channel the Crow Continuum. Man, it was great to see all your responses to your alternative retro choices. Some of you sort of like skipped around the rules a bit, but that doesn't matter because this is the foursome, and you know, in a foursome you're free to do what you like. Mostly, you got to adhere to the rules. Mostly, it's flexible. Anyway, I will pick the winner from that, and also I'll pick the winner from my personal favourite out of all those, and I'll also pick the person that got the most upvotes on my Facebook page, on the Novabug Facebook page, which is in the description box again below, and that would be You've Been Gamed. So well done, sir, the former retro game addict. You've been gamed. I felt your video response was funny. So well produced as well, but it was funny and honest as well. A lot of the other ones, but there are lots of bits of humour in it, lots of anecdotes and stories through all the Friday Foursome responses. Very good. I was very pleased, and I hope you all enjoyed making them. So let's move on to this month's question, the Foursome question this time. What is that? It's about arcade machines, more specifically the arcade machines that you used to play back in the day. The very first arcade machines, you could say. So your responses won't be your 4 favourite arcade cabs, and we're not including MAME here. We're talking fully fledged original upright cabs that you got in the arcades, in the newsagents, in the pubs, all that kind of stuff. Because everyone can name their 4 favourite arcade cabs very easily. But I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask you, what are your 4... Little finger, behave. What are your 4 most played arcade cabinets from back in the day? So these are the games that you played most of all. These could have been out of necessity. They could have been maybe the one that was locally there to you all the time, the one that you went to on the way to school and you ended up playing it every morning and every afternoon. Or they could have been just out of choice. You knew where a specific game was and you always homed in on that particular arcade or establishment to play that game. Your 4 most played arcade machines, proper real arcade machines. My 4. What are my 4? Well, it has to be the first arcade game I ever played. I definitely played that probably the most, I'm guessing, out of necessity, because it was actually in the pub that my dad owned at the time. It was downstairs, so I had free access to it, and of course we had the key to it, so we had plenty of access to it, and that would be Kung Fu Master. I played Kung Fu Master a considerable amount, really a lot. I probably forgot how many hours I've clocked up in total on Kung Fu Master. Kung Fu Master, he said there. So that's one of those weird hybrid games where Donkey Kong and Thomas from Kung Fu Master merge into one hybrid creature in my dreams. Anyway, so that would be my first choice. My second choice is pretty obvious. I would say it's gonna have to be either probably Double Dragon I guess I must have played Double Dragon. You see, I went to a swimming baths. We used to call them then back then. Now they're called leisure centres, whatever. And they had several arcades there. Cabal was one of them they had. But the two they had, and there's Street Fighter 2s as well. But they came later on. But the two they always seemed to have were POW Prisoners of War, which I played a lot, and Double Dragon. And I think the original Double Dragon I played probably more out of anything else. I used to go to that place a lot when I was a teenager. Definitely the original Double Dragon is definitely up there with one of the ones I've played the most. Of course, everyone, these are all estimates. These are all what from you remember playing. I'm not asking you to go back and, you know, recount every single minute of every hour of every day that you played these cabs. We're not getting that specific. The ones you feel that you played the most. My fourth choice would definitely be going on to a similar kind of... I used to go to this place specifically to play this cab because it was there and it was stand up, and I just loved the game. Golden Axe. I used to go to this arcade, always make a beeline for Golden Axe, and would play every time I'd find a Golden Axe cab. I would play Golden Axe. So it had to be. If it's not like above Kung Fu Master and the amount of times I've played it, it's going to be close. So Golden Axe is definitely a very, very high scorer for my game playing days back then. And the final pick is a difficult one because it's either one of three, and these would be the arcades that were outside one of the newsagents that we used to live in South Harrow. And they had, for a period of time, there was 3 arcade machines. That I remember specifically going back to play a lot, and ended up challenging a friend of mine at the time, Desmond, on all of them. And one was R-Type, and one was Black Tiger, and the other one, I can't remember, it was Shinobi. So I want to say, out of them 3, must have been Black Tiger. Honestly, I know I said I love R-Type, I used to play R-Type a lot, but I think out of the 3 of them, the one that we used to challenge on how far we could get the most was definitely be Black Tiger. It was weird because when I got into like home systems and stuff more, I kind of fell out of love with that game because the Amstrad version is rubbish. So I fell out of love with that game a lot. But in the arcade, I loved Black Tiger, and I could not get enough of that game. So those are my 4 picks: Kung Fu Master, Golden Axe, Double Dragon, and Black Tiger. I think there are varied choice there, a varied range of games there. But it doesn't matter what I think, it's about what you think. What are your 4 most played arcade cabinets of all time? The ones that you've played the most, the ones you've put the most money in, the ones you've spent the most time on. Again, you don't have to go specific on the maths on this. Just what do you feel are the ones that you've played the most? I'll be glad and interested to hear what you have to say and what unusual games might pop up, like Black Tiger, for instance. And I don't think many people would have thought that. But remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, do it that way. 4 answers to this, no exceptions, has to be 4. And remember, let me know the video response you do. Please let me know, because if I'm not aware, I will sometimes miss it in your subs. If I'm not subbed, for instance, you've got to let me know that if you're a newcomer to the foursome, let me know. You've got all the means to let me know. You've got Discord, you've got Facebook, you've got Twitter to let me know. So please do that. DM on Twitter is probably perfect, or if you're on my Discord, you can do that. Even leave it in the comments of this very video if you want, and I will pin it. I will move it, because I've got to repost them in my Discord and repost them on the Facebook page. So I'm glad you're all enjoying the foursome. It's back. The next foursome will be at the end of March, so you've got a good 5 weeks or so with this, just under. And I'll see you next time. Keep on foursoming. Novabug out, or foursome out even. I don't end these ones with Novabug out, do I? It's foursome out. That's what it is.
Hey, Novabug here. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my Bug Army via Patreon. And also don't forget to follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, BitChute and Twitch. And finally, a very special mention to my Bug Army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanook and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug out.